Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vasam Tato Jayamudirahe. Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Vyatiruttamaśloke Bhaktir-bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda-Gopa-Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurum-militam Yena Tasmai Shri-gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya-manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri-guru Shri-yuta-padakamalam Shri-gurun Vaishnavansya Shri-rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakamitamsha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Nama हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. By His divine grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We are reading from Canto 6, Chapter 6, Brahmā Satisfies Lord Śiva. So we are in the section where all the devatas, they are now going to take darshan of Lord Śiva. Text 39. Tam Brahma Nirvāṇam Samādhamāśritam Dvipāśritam Girisham Yoga Kaksham Salokapala Munayo Manunam Adyam Manum Pranjalaya Pranemuhu. Translation.
All the sages and demigods, headed by Indra, offered their respectful obeisances unto Lord Shiva with folded hands. Lord Shiva was dressed in saffron garments and absorbed in trance, thus appearing to be the foremost of all sages. Purport. In this verse, the word Brahmananda is significant. This Brahmananda or Brahma Nirvana is explained by Prahlad Maharaj. When one is completely absorbed in the Adokshaya, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond the sense perception of materialistic persons, one is situated in Brahmananda. It is impossible to conceive of the existence, name, form, quality, and pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead because he is transcendently situated beyond the conception of materialistic persons. Because materialists cannot imagine or conceive of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they may think that God is dead. But factually, he is always existing in his Sat-Chit Ananda Vigraha, that is, his eternal form. Constant meditation concentrated on the form of the Lord is called samadhi, ecstasy, or trance. Samadhi means particularly concentrated attention. So, one who has achieved the qualification of always meditating on the personality of Godhead is to be understood to be always in trance and enjoying Brahma Nirvana or Brahmananda. Lord Shiva exhibited those symptoms, and therefore it is stated that he was absorbed in Brahmananda. Another significant word is Yoga Kaksha. Yoga Kaksha is the sitting posture in which the left thigh is fixed under one's tightly knotted saffron colored garment. Also, the words Manunam Adyam are significant here because they mean a philosopher or one who is thoughtful and can think very nicely. Such a man is called Manu. Lord Shiva is described in this verse as the chief of all thinkers. Lord Shiva, of course, does not engage in useless mental speculation. But as stated in the previous verse, he is always thoughtful regarding how to deliver the demons from their fallen condition of life. It is said that during the advent of Lord Chaitanya, Sadashiva appeared as Advaita Prabhu. And Advaita Prabhu's chief concern was to elevate the fallen conditioned souls to the platform of devotional service to Lord Krishna. Since people were engaged in useless occupations which would continue their material existence, Lord Shiva, in the form of Lord Advaita, appealed to the Supreme Lord to appear as Lord Chaitanya to deliver these illusioned souls. Actually, Lord Chaitanya appeared on the request of Lord Advaita. Similarly, Lord Shiva has a sampradaya, the Rudra Sampradaya. He is always thinking about the deliverance of the fallen souls, as exhibited by Lord Advaita Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So all the sages and demigods, now they are arriving after seeing the beauty of Kailash, seeing the huge banyan tree, seeing the Lord Shiva personally sitting there along with the associates. Who are the associates? Kumār, Nārada Muni, Kubera, and thousands of great sages are sitting there in the Yoga Mudra, Tarka Mudra, Virasana. This is being explained. And now they saw Lord Shiva in saffron garments, absorbed in trance, and he appeared like the foremost yogi, Yogishvara. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that Lord Shiva was absorbed in Brahmananda or Brahma Nirvana. So this Brahmananda is nothing but the great satisfaction one will derive when one is in trance in devotional service. Srila Prabhupada gives example of Prahlad Maharaj. He has this Brahmananda. Naivodvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyas tadvirya gayan mahamritam magana chittaha shoche tatho vimukha chetasa indriyarthan maya sukhaya bharam udvahato vimudha. So here he says, my dear Lord, I am completely absorbed in your thought. This is called as Brahmananda, right? So Brahmananda is possible only when there is a form of the Supreme Lord. So one will meditate on the name, form, qualities, and pastimes of the Supreme Lord through the process of devotional service by the understanding the devotional literature. Otherwise, one may conceive some wrong Brahmananda or wrong Nirvana, thinking God has no form, God is formless, or there is no God. One may try to go in samadhi, but Prabhupada used to say that is quite a useless samadhi, which is just a snoring, nothing else. Like Prabhupada, some hippies came to Prabhupada and said that, Swamiji, when we do meditation, we feel very nice. And Prabhupada said, what meditation you do? He said that just sit and think of nothing. And Prabhupada said that, yeah, for after 20-25 minutes of a good sleep, you will always feel very nice. Okay. So samadhi means it is a concentrated attention, but concentrated attention on an object. And when that object is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Nirvana will be Brahma Nirvana or Brahmananda. And Lord Shiva exhibited all these different symptoms. Another word used, Prabhupada writes here, is Yoga Kaksham. So Yoga Kaksham means the typical posture, the sitting posture in which the left thigh is fixed under the tightly knotted the saffron colored garment. And then Lord Shiva is also called as Manu Adhyam. Manu means a philosopher, thinker, or thoughtful personality. Manu, Manasvi, Manaswini, so Sati was explained as Manaswini, very, very thoughtful. So when it is for the female, it is Manaswini, Manasvi, or Manu. So, and Manu Adhyam, amongst all those thoughtful personalities, Lord Shiva is the original thoughtful personality, the chief of all thinkers. And such a chief personality will not engage in the mental speculation, right? He is thoughtful regarding delivering everyone and including the demons from the fallen condition of life. And therefore, whenever there is advent of the Supreme Lord, Lord Shiva will always be present. Just like the recent advent of the Supreme Lord as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prabhupada writes, Lord Shiva was present as Advaita Prabhu, Advaita Acharya. So Advaita Acharya is a combined incarnation of Mahavishnu and Sadashiva. And Advaita Acharya, when he sees the fallen condition of the people, he prays to the Supreme Lord to appear and relieve them from this. And Lord Chaitanya appears on the request of Advaita Prabhu. And thus Lord Shiva's always a concern is how to lift the fallen conditioned souls. And therefore he himself practices, he himself leads by example, and then he has his own sampradaya, Rudra Sampradaya, which is a Vaishnava Sampradaya, which is spreading the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam through Rudra Sampradaya, headed by Lord Shiva. So these are the activities of Lord Shiva being mentioned here. Text 40. सतुपलभ्यतमागतमात्मयोनिं सुरासुरै ईश अभिवन्दिताङ्घ्रि उत्थाय चक्रे शिरसाभिवन्दनम् अहर्तमं कस्य यथैव विष्णुः. Translation.
Lord Shiva's lotus feet were worshipped by both the demigods and demons, but still, in spite of his exalted position, as soon as he saw that Lord Brahma was there among all the other demigods, he immediately stood up and offered him respect by bowing down and touching his lotus feet, just as Vamandev offered his respectful obeisances to Kashyap Muni. Purport. Kashyap Muni was in the category of the living entities, but he had a transcendental son, Vamandev, who was an incarnation of Vishnu. Thus, although Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he offered his respects to Kashyap Muni. Similarly, when Lord Krishna was a child, he used to offer his respectful obeisances to his mother and father Nanda and Yashoda. Also, at the Battle of Kurukshetra, Lord Krishna touched the feet of Maharaj Yudhishthir because the king was his elder. It appears then that the personality of Godhead, Lord Shiva, and other devotees, in spite of their being situated in exalted position, instructed by practical example how to offer obeisances to their superiors, Lord Shiva offered his respectful obeisances to Brahma because Brahma was his father, just as Kashyapa Muni was the father of Vaman.
So all the demigods headed by Brahma, with folded hands, they approached Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, as soon as he saw Lord Brahma in front of him, although he personally extremely exalted Lord Shiva, he is being worshipped by both Sura Surai Ribhir Abhivandati. He is worshipped by both the demigods and the demons. But still, in spite of such an exalted position, as soon as he saw Lord Brahma, he immediately stood up and offered him respects by bowing down and touching the lotus feet of Lord Brahma, just as Vamana offered obeisances to Kashyapa Muni. Arhattamahai Kasya Yathaiva Vishnu. Right. Just like Kasya here is a Kashyapa Muni, Vishnu here is Vamana. So just like Vamana Dev offered obeisances to Kashyapa Muni, although Vamana, being Prabhupada writes in the purport, Vamana Dev is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, transcendental son of Kashyapa Muni, who is a living entity. But because Kashyapa Muni is father of Vamana Dev, Vamana Dev immediately offered obeisances and touched the lotus feet of Kashyapa Muni. And this is the behavior exhibited by the Supreme Lord. Our God is not an arrogant God, right? So sometimes, typically the Abrahamic religions, when they see that Krishna touching feet or Lord Ram worshipping Lord Shiva at Rameshwara, they say, what kind of God do you have? He is touching feet of somebody. So they completely miss out the understanding that Krishna is also personality of Godhead. So all the personal traits will be there. And whenever the Lord appears in the Nara Leela, he will be performing activities similar to Nara, although while performing the activity, he retains his transcendental position. So technically, Lord Shiva is far superior to Lord Brahma, right? So Lord Brahma is a living entity. Lord Shiva is a Shiva Tattva. Nobody can become Lord Shiva. But still, Lord Brahma is father of Lord Shiva because Lord Shiva has appeared from the anger of Lord Brahma when he was angry with the Chatushkumar. And therefore, as soon as he saw his father, he immediately offered obeisances. Prabhupada writes in the purport, Lord Shiva and devotees, in spite of being situated in the exalted position, instructed by practical example how to offer obeisances to their superiors. Right. So Brahma is father, and therefore he is offering obeisances. So this is very important. That sometimes we may become vriddha in one aspect of life, but we should always find a reason to offer respects to people without socially embarrassing them. That is also a very important thing. One has to be mindful of the social etiquettes. Just like Kunti Maharani, she is praying to the Supreme Lord, beginning with Namo Pankajanaabhaya, Namo Pankajamaline, Namo Pankajanetraya, Namaste Pankajangliye. So one thing is we have to follow the Vaishnava etiquettes. Another thing is by we following the Vaishnava etiquettes, there should not be awkward situation for others as well. So both these things are very important, and this is how one has to do the Vaishnava Acharan. Text 41. तथा परे सिद्धगणा महर्षिभिर् ये वै समन्तातनु नीललोहितं नमस्कृतग्राह शशाङ्कशेखरं कृतप्रणामं प्रहसन्निवात्मभूः. Translation.
All the sages who were sitting with Lord Shiva, such as Nārada and others, also offered their respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. After being so worshipped, Lord Brahma smilingly began speaking to Lord Shiva. Purport: Lord Brahma was smiling because he knew that Lord Shiva is not only easily satisfied, but easily irritated as well. He was afraid that Lord Shiva might be in an angry mood because he had lost his wife and had been insulted by Dakṣa. In order to conceal this fear, he smiled and addressed Lord Shiva as follows. Hare Krishna.
So not only Lord Shiva, all the associates of Lord Shiva there, Nārada, Chatushkumar, Kubera, all the great sages, they also offered respectful obeisances to Lord Brahma. So Vidhivat, Lord Brahma was respected like this. Then Shekhara, now look at the word, Shashanka Shekhara. So who is Shashanka Shekhara? Shashanka Shekhara is name of Lord Shiva. Namaskritam Praha Shashanka Shekharam. What a beautiful word. Right. So this is Lord Shiva. Shashanka Shekhara. Krita Pranamam. And then Prahasan. Lord Brahma began to smile, and in the purport Srila Prabhupada explained, Lord Brahma was smiling because Lord Shiva is not only Ashutosh, he's very easily pleased, but he can be very easily irritated also. So Lord Brahma was also afraid. He was also thinking that Lord Shiva has personally gone through such severe humiliation by Dakṣa, Duraktai, and also loss of his great wife, Sati. And because of this, Lord Shiva might be in angry mood. So Lord Brahma was unable to ascertain that what is the current mood of Lord Shiva, whether it is Ashutosh or otherwise. And in order to conceal his fear, Prabhupada writes here, in order to conceal his fear, he smiled and addressed Lord Shiva as follows. Text 42. So this is 1 second. Text 42. Brahmovacha Jane Tvamisham Vishwasya Jagato Yoni Bijayo Shakte Shivasya Chaparam Yad Brahma Nirantaram. Translation.
Lord Brahma said, My dear Lord Shiva, I know that you are the controller of entire material manifestation, the combination father and mother of the cosmic manifestation, and the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation as well. I know you in that way, Purport. Although Lord Brahma had received very respectful obeisances from Lord Shiva, he knew that Lord Shiva was in a more exalted position than himself. Lord Shiva's position is described in Brahmā Samhita. There is no difference between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva in their original positions, but still Lord Shiva is different from Lord Vishnu. The example is given that the milk in yogurt is not different from the original milk from which it was made.
So Brahmovacha, Brahmaji, he began to speak to Lord Shiva, began to pray to Lord Shiva. Jane Tvamisham Vishwasya Jagato Yoni Bijayo. That my dear Lord Shiva, you are the controller of the entire material manifestation. You are the combination, father and mother of the cosmic manifestation. Tvameva Mata Pita Tvameha. You know that. So that is the mood Lord Shiva is praying. Lord Brahma is praying to Lord Shiva. You are the supreme Brahman beyond the cosmic manifestation, and I know you in these three different ways. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, although Lord Brahma personally was greatly respected by Lord Shiva, Lord Brahma knew the exalted position of Lord Shiva. And he has already written about it in Brahma Samhita. Kshiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat. So whenever we visit Shiva temple, this is the most appropriate mantra to chant. Kshiram yatha dadi vikara vishesha yogat. Sanjayate nahi tata prithagasti hetoho. Yah shambhutamapi tatha samupaiti karyat. Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. That Lord Shiva and Lord Krishna, they are not different. Lord Shiva is actually Lord Vishnu, but in touch with the material nature. Just like doodh and dahi, they are same, milk and the curd, only there is slight vikara in the milk and then it becomes curd. But originally they are same, but there is slight difference. Similarly, Lord Vishnu in touch with material nature is called as Lord Shiva. Lord Brahma prayed to Lord Shiva in this way. Text 43. So these are the verses actually which are glorifying, very beautiful verses these are, where Brahmaji is glorifying Lord Shiva. This is the next section actually we have entered. 42 to 53, Lord Brahma glorifies Lord Shiva. Right. So if you are looking for some very authentic Shiva Stuti, there are these mantras from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Correct? Is Lord Brahma, our Sampradaya Acharya, is glorifying Lord Shiva. And these are the very, very perfect verses to glorify Lord Shiva. So sometimes we want to learn some Shiva Stuti. People say that, Prabhuji, what to remember? Tandav, that Shiva Tandav Stotra by Ravana to do, or what to remember. So we don't have to go to Ravana Stotra, but we can remember this one. Brahma, Lord Brahma is glorifying Lord Shiva in these beautiful prayers. So text 43. Tvameva Bhagavan etat Shiva Shaktyo Swarupyo Vishvam Srijasi Pastyasti Kridan Urnapata Yatha. Translation.
My dear Lord, you create this cosmic manifestation, maintain it, and annihilate it by expansion of your personality, exactly as a spider creates, maintains, and winds up its web. Purport. In this verse, the word Shiva Shakti is significant. Shiva means auspicious, and Shakti means energy. There are many types of energies of the Supreme Lord, and all of them are auspicious. Brahma, Vishnu, and Maheshwara are called Guna Avataras, or incarnations of material qualities. In the material world, we compare these different incarnations from different angles of vision, but since all of them are expansions of the Supreme Auspicious, all of them are auspicious. Although sometimes we consider one quality of nature to be higher or lower than another, the mode of ignorance or tamoguna is considered very much lower than the others, but in a higher sense, it is also auspicious. The example may be given herein that the government has both an educational department and a criminal department. An outsider may consider criminal department may be inauspicious, but from the government's point of view, it is an important as the education department, and therefore the government finances both departments equally without discrimination. Thank you.
So Lord Brahma further prayed, you create the cosmic manifestation, maintain and annihilate it. Just like exactly the spider creates, maintains, and winds up his web. And therefore you are very, very auspicious. Tvameva Bhagavan, Shiva Shakta. Srila Prabhupada explains the purport. The word Shiva Shakti means, Shiva means auspicious, Shiva Panta, very, very Mangalam, auspicious. Shakti means energy. So the Shiva Shakti means very auspicious energy of the Supreme Lord. So energy of Lord Shiva, under the category of Gunavatar, we know that there are three Gunavatar, Brahma, Vishnu, and Mahesh. And Mahesh energy represents tamas, tamoguna. What it is, sometimes we may think, Prabhupada writes that tamas means in the mode of ignorance and one may hate it, but it is as important as sattva guna. Srila Prabhupada gives example because for a government, there is no difference between the education department and the criminal department, the prison department. Government will fund both of them. Of course, the symptoms of the education department may be very different. And one may go to Gurukul, Pathashala, the beautiful chanting of the mantras, and everything will be there. One goes to the prison, there will be all these criminals may be there. They were fighting with each other, biting each other, tearing off each other's clothes and everything. But still, government will fund both the departments, considering the importance of both the departments, because government is engaged in facilitating, uplifting all the citizens, not only good citizens. Similarly, the universal government of the Lord uplifts everyone, including those in the mode of ignorance. And especially those in the mode of ignorance, they are given the highest association in the form of association of Lord Shiva. And therefore, the energy of Lord Shiva is called as Shiva Shakti, very, very auspicious energy. Text 44. Tvameva dharmartha दुगाभिपत्तये दक्षेण सूत्रेण ससर्जितध्वरम् त्वयैव लोको वसिताः सचेसे तवो यान् ब्राह्मणा श्रद्धते धृतव्रताः. Translation.
My dear Lord, your worship has introduced the system of sacrifices through the agency of Dakṣa, and thus one may derive the benefits of religious activities and economic development. Under your regulative principles, the institution of the 4 varnas and ashramas is respected. The Brahmanas are therefore vowed to follow this system strictly. Purport: the Vedic system of varna and ashrama is never to be neglected, for these divisions are created by the Supreme Lord Himself for the keep-up of social and religious order in human society. The Brahmanas, as the intelligence class of men in society, must vow to steadily respect this regulative principle. The tendency in this age of Kali to make a classless society and not observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama is a manifestation of an impossible dream. Destruction of the social and spiritual orders will not bring fulfillment of the idea of a classless society. One should strictly observe the principles of Varna and Ashrama for the satisfaction of the Creator, for it is stated in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna that the 4 orders of the social system, Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, are His creation. They should act according to the regulative principles of this institution and satisfy the Lord, just as different parts of the body all engage in the service of the whole. The whole is the Supreme Personality of Godhead in His Virat Rupa, or universal form. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are respectively the mouth, arms, abdomen, and legs of the universal form of the Lord. As long as they are engaged in the service of the complete whole, their position is secure. Otherwise, they fall down from their respective position and become degraded.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Lord Brahma further began to pray that, my dear Lord, your Lordship has introduced the system of the sacrifices through the agency. Under your regulative principles, Brahmanas therefore vow to follow this system strictly. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains the importance of Varnashrama Dharma. Chaturvarnim maya prishtam guna karma vibhagashaha. So, Varnashrama system begins with guna karma vibhagashaha. It is not the modern day ill-conceived caste system, which is based on the jati. Jati Vyavastha is not Varnashram, but Varnashram is very important, which is based on Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. And Prabhupada says, this is very important for this material and the spiritual upkeep of the society. Tendency in Kali Yuga, Prabhupada writes, is to make a classless society. Although one may work on a classless society, but there is always fight for the position of dictatorship. There is a book written by George Orwell, 1984, and he talks about that everybody is equal, but some are more equal. So although even in the communist country like China, we can take the recent example, they are trying to create classless society, but the president of China has nominated himself till death he is going to remain the president, right? So there is no question of creating classless society, and all those experiments have failed. All those experiments and academics have also failed. People said, no, we will not take exams and we will not grade the students. We will not call somebody's first class, second class, third class. We will give the credit system. Then people said that, no, we will drop the exams only. And there was an experiment like that. Till 8th standard, 9th standard, there was no exam. And people, the students suffered so pathetically. So you cannot create classless society. Classes is the universal truth created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Of course, the base of the class need not be jati. The base of the class has to be guna karma, but the classes will always remain, always maintain. So the ancient Gurukul system was a very scientific system where the Guru observed the Shishya for 12 years and awarded him particular varna and asked him to join particular ashrama. And this is the Varnashrama system maintained by Lord through the agency of Lord Shiva. And this is how, there is beautiful glorification of Lord Shiva. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.